Go, Q. Attaboy, G-Money.
Thomas Sells Jr. back here with on the JON week 6. And John's going to break down game of the week, players of the week. Got a couple special interviews lined up. So let's waste no more time. Let's get on to JON.
All right, guys, my first point this week is the games of the week. There were some exciting games across the city and the counties. Cordova got their first victory on the season playing at Arlington, won 46-38. Mufford beat Dyer County. That's a good win from the Mufford Cougar program. Briarcrest goes into Harding Academy like we talked about last week, Thomas. It was a good victory for Briarcrest and stay undefeated going into this week and beat MUS and play MUS to beat Harding 42-27. Hey, we got to give Bartlett defense a huge win, 26-0 over White Station. And then Germantown 25, Houston 21. And then Brighton 38, MAHS 34.
Speaking of MAHS, the Lions, the 2A school out of Memphis, Tennessee, West 10 Media, we do have our coverage area, but when our teams play these good teams, we like to go and do a little research and find out what's going on down there. So John caught up with head coach Cedric Miller and a talented player down there, Cam Miller, about what the Lions are doing to get off to a 4-1 start. They were down early against that Brighton team up in Tipton County and roared back, no pun intended. So let's see what John found out when he caught up with the guys.
All right, this week on the JON, I have Coach Cedric Miller and his son Cameron Miller, the Tennessee football signee. First of all, guys, thank y'all for letting me come out to talk to y'all today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming out and interviewing us.
First, let me start with you, Cameron. How's your season so far? And talk about the Brighton game from last Friday.
It was a tough L, especially going on their homecoming night. You know, so they're gonna have the momentum and a lot of adrenaline pumping. So I think that was a big test for us, and we had to be tested all year. But, you know, we made a lot of mistakes down the stretch, but still got to give credit to the team for the way they ran the ball very well and just were able to execute their plays at a high level.
So talk about the season so far. I know y'all started off with a hot start, 5-0. So talk about that.
It was a real good start. You know, just to get real good start for the program. Just for us to get some momentum going on. But you know, just for our school and just for the fans to just see how good we really are. But, you know, just having a half start is pretty good. But you know, we try to go 1-0 every week, even on the bye week. So you know, just trying to get better every day.
All right, and talk about your road ahead against Thursday against Freedom Prep.
You know, just it was tough last week, but you know, we're gonna bounce back this week. Try to go be great every day at practice week. You know, get better, and be competitive with each other. That's the only way we get better. Being well at practice at a high level and just doing everything the right way.
And you got any message for any Tennessee fans out there?
There's gonna be good class coming in. That's all I really have to say for that.
All right, thanks, Cameron. Coach Miller, now we come to you. Let's talk about your season so far. Like we talked about, you started off with a 5-0 start and you lost a tough one last Friday against Brighton.
You know, we got to the start this year, which I expected, but you know, going into Brighton, I expected it was going to be a hard-fought game. I knew they did what they do, which was run the ball, and I thought we were not physical enough as I would like to have been up front. But on the offensive side of the ball, we were very explosive. I really hadn't had to use my passing game all year. But Friday night passing game caught on fire, so you know I was happy to see that. You know, I give credit to Brighton and Coach David. You know, they did what they were supposed to do. They ball control, ran the ball. You know, played just good enough defense just to hold us off. You know, winning 38-34. I believe if we'd had maybe about 30 more seconds, 15 more seconds, we probably would have won the way we were driving down the field. So, but hats off to them. They're a 5A school. We're a small 2A school with 380 kids. And for us to go in there and compete with those guys, years past when we played Brighton when I first got here, the game was over in the first half. But to go all the way to the wire speaks volumes about how far MAHS has came and how proud I am of the guys that they didn't quit, even though we made a lot of mistakes. They didn't quit all the way to the buzzer sound. So I think we can carry that momentum into this week against Freedom Prep, which is a league game. And I just think that we're going to go to work today and tomorrow, try to clean things up, get back to doing what we normally do, which is play good defense and play sound fundamental offense.
Yeah, so basically, y'all do have that district game against Freedom Prep. Just to want to finish strong the rest of the year, especially to get that higher home field advantage for playoffs.
Yeah, that's important. We're trying to get that home field advantage. So we're going to leave the city until after the third round. But we still got 5 more games to play, and the first game is Freedom Prep. So we're concentrating on Freedom Prep, nobody else. Like I said, we're going to get ready and go down here on this field and go to work now, and try to make sure and make this thing happen. And like I said, clean up the small mistakes. Nothing that we saw on film we can't clean up. So that's a good thing. But I did see some positive, which I said, which my offense passing game started to catch me.
And like I've known y'all the last 4 years, you guys, since I've go to different games throughout the city, I enjoy watching y'all play because you guys never give up and never quit, especially when I seen y'all play Bartlett in years past as well. So I enjoy watching y'all complete and keep up the good work over here. Y'all building a good program over here.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's been my goal since I got in 2015 to make this place a desirable place for people who want to come. As you can see, we're putting scholars in school over here now. In North Memphis, MAHS is the place to be now. Dredman was, when Taylor White was there, but now Taylor White's gone. MAHS is the place to be here in North Memphis. You want to go to school, you want to play good football, and you have.
Thank you again to MAHS High School and Cameron Miller and Cedric Miller for allowing me to come out again to support the Lions and give them some love as well. All right, next is my Players of the Week. We'll start out with some offensive players. A new school record for the MUS Owls belongs to Mac Owen. He had 4 receiving touchdowns, 36 yards, 34 yards, 21 yards, and 13 yards. And congratulations again to Mac Owen. Let's give some Briarcrest some love once again. J.D. Sherrod, the quarterback, 22-34, 345 passing, 289 in the first half, Thomas. That's a lot of yards. Max Carroll, 6 receptions for 144. Reed Linder, 9 for 144. And then Ahmad Miller, the running back, 21 for 141 and 2 touchdowns. Hey, we got to give some special teams some love. We got for Cody Jones, the Michigan commit. He had a 99-yard kickoff return, which turned out to be the difference in that game against Houston. And he also had an interception in the end zone. So Cody Jones, that's my special team player of the week for that one. Defense. Hey, Collierville holds Whitehaven to 6 points. MUS holds Ridgeway to 7 points. And Briarcrest holds Harding to 6 points in the second half. So to go to Searcy and hold Harding to 6 points in the second half is an accomplishment. And then Bartlett's defense, like we talked about in the game of the week, holding White Station to 0 points for the ball game. And I also had a chance to meet up with Matt Gore this week, the Bartlett High School defensive coordinator, to talk about the season and the defense that Bartlett has this year as well, from graduating all those seniors on defense, which to me, they have a great defense again this year so far. I have a special interview today at Bartlett High School with Matt Gore, the defense coordinator at Bartlett High School. Matt, thank you for your time today, and talk about a little bit about your background.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Like you said, my name is Matt Gore. I'm from Bartlett, Tennessee. I graduated from Bartlett in 2005. Played football and baseball here at Bartlett through those years, and always had a love for sports, and that carried me into my coaching profession. and I coached for, 3 years at Brighton, 8 years at Horn Lake, and now that brought me to be the defensive coordinator here at Bartlett this season. So I'm really excited to be back. Got a great group of guys, like working for Coach Tucker and all the other coaches, and yeah, I'm really excited.
Time flies by when we get older, first of all. But yeah, you talked about your Horn Lake days. You were there for like 8 seasons, and you won a state championship over there. Plus, you had one of your better teams in that defensive back that is now playing at Georgia right now as well. So just talk about your background at Horn Lake a little bit.
Yeah, I would say I owe a lot of my who I am as a man and who I am as a coach to my years at Horn Lake. I learned a lot there, a lot of relationships, whether it be the coaches or the players that I gained during my time there. Will be shaped me as who I am today, like I said, as a man and a coach, and I'm really proud of that. I guess that being where I came from. Not that that's really where I came from, but as far as where I feel like I grew in my profession as a coach, for sure.
Another thing what I've also seen this year with the Bartlett High School Panthers, they're off to a great start, especially with last year's seniors, the way they graduated with 36 seniors. And everybody thinks about, Bartlett High School, oh, they're going to drop off this year. They shouldn't be as good. We've had, to me, a tough schedule. You got Pier the first game, you won that one. Played SBA, you won that one. And then, you played Lausanne. I know people say, well, you scored 0 points against Lausanne, but Lausanne has pretty much everybody back on offense.
Right.
So talk about the season.
Yeah, we are young. At the same time, we're really talented. All of our young guys are really talented, and we've got a good mix of seniors that are key players on both sides of the ball. Like you said, there's been ups and downs to the season so far. I think if anybody would have asked, would we take where we're at right now at the beginning of the year before starting, sure, we want to win every game, but I think we're pretty pleased with where we're at right now. I'm not satisfied, but I wanted to see the defense and our team, how they handled adversity, not necessarily the way that it happened in the games against Lausanne and Germantown. But those things, again, they're good for shaping young teams and showing them what they've got to do to because not necessarily the Lausanne game, but I think our guys saw in the Germantown game that we were in that game, and the score really doesn't dictate I think the feel for that game. But I think those, although there were losses, both of those were probably good for us, and we're still looking for that, I guess, high quality win that could come this week against somebody like a Houston or coming up a Collierville or a Whitehaven. So excited about the youth. Really want to send these seniors out on a good note to finish the season, and at the same time we're hungry and want to see where we can go if we can get in the playoffs and the new season begins there.
I talked to you about before we started this video, you shut out a team in White Station last week that pretty much has a D1 quarterback in Ragland, and then they got some decent receivers as well. But just talk about your young defense stepping up to the par, like Devin Rutherford. He had another interception in that game as well, and the defense capitalized and held White Station to 0 points.
Yeah, it was just one of those games where sometimes things bounce your way. Sometimes coaches make the right calls. Certain blitzes work. Exactly.
And my surprise of the week, looks like Collierville's defense is still playing up to par. It's going to be a good test for that Collierville defense going into a hostile environment at Germantown, which is going to be a packed house. Anybody can beat anybody on a given night. So that'll be an exciting game to go to at Germantown. But hey, I got a chance to reach out to Joe Riccone, the head football coach at Collierville this week, by text messages. And he was basically telling me so far this season, he's definitely proud of the effort and execution of our players, playing with a lot of confidence, but keeping that chip on their shoulder. And like he said, there is a huge game this Friday against a Germantown arch rival team, and that big district game Friday night. All right, guys, my next point is the takeaway of the week. Hey, district is up to top, from top to bottom. It's going to be the next couple weeks before playoff season. It's going to be definitely interesting for some of these districts. Let's start off with the Division II higher class. Briarcrest leads with 2-0, MUS 1-1, Christian Brothers 0-2, SBA 0-2. Anybody can win that district still, although Innsworth is at the top. A good quality team in Innsworth. Hey, let's give Rosemark 1-1 some love, and the FACS 0-1. FACS has a huge game against Fayette Academy next week while they enjoy their bye week this week. Central 3-0, Mumford 2-0, and Brighton 0-1. But hey, that region is definitely from top to bottom wide open still. And as Thomas said before the high school preview started this year, it's the SEC for him. Hey, 6A, Collierville 3-0, Germantown 3-0, Bartlett 2-1. Cordova got the, like we said, huge win this past week against Arlington 1-2, Houston 1-2, White Station 1-2, Whitehaven 1-2, and Arlington 0-3. But a lot of teams still got to play each other in that district. Top 4 advance, and who is going to be fighting out for that home field playoff across the city and county, we'll find that out in the next couple weeks. Hey, is it Friday yet? No, not yet, but let's look ahead to Friday night lights. Arlington at Whitehaven, so that'll be a good game for both teams to see where they stand going on for the rest of the year. Houston at Bartlett, a rematch of last year's playoff game when Houston lost in overtime. Bolton at Bolivar, MUS Owls travel to Briarcrest in a big Division II matchup there. Mumford at Brighton, White Station at Cordova. Collierville at Germantown. Hey, those ECS Eagles travel to Lausanne in a good matchup there between both coaches and both players as well. And then Ripley at Millington, St. George's at North Point. We'll see if St. Benedict can get back on the winning roll after a few weeks of absence with COVID, and they play home against East. And then Jackson Christian travels to at Rosemark in a big game for Rosemark.
Hey, John, thanks for the great job, man, getting out there reporting on things and all the great information, man. You are just soaking in information. I guess that's why you made me wait an extra couple of days to do On the John this week, but hey, it's been worth the wait. Now we get to that long-awaited Power 10 to keep you updated on West 10 Media's best teams in our coverage area. As John mentioned earlier, Brighton Mumford. That's a big game in Tipton County coming up. Brighton's number 10 this week, Mumford's number 9. Both teams are 4-2. Now they get to meet this important league game, and it's for respect out there in T County. Who gets to go to the local Walmart and do the bragging? At number 8, Bartlett. Big win. After 2 shutouts, they shut out somebody. So are they about to hit that rhythm, hit that stride? So let's see how the Panthers are going to keep it, see if they can keep it going. They're number 8. Number 7, MUS. Been kind of just floating under the radar, 4-2. Picked up some big wins. So MUS, the quality team, let's see if they can keep moving up the ranks. They're number 7. Number 6, their rivals, Christian Brothers High School. Christian Brothers also 4-2 this year. Kind of laying on their radar. These are 2 teams that October's here now. They can do some damage in October and November. Now let's get to our top 5. The Fighting Let Go My Eagles, ECS, they're at number 5 this week. Hey, it's hard to say Eagles sometimes. But hey, when you play them, it's going to be a tough night. And they're up at their 4-1, still moving up the rankings. I think they're 5-1, my bad. And they're going to keep moving up those rankings where it looks. Now, right in front of them, number 4, Germantown. Number 3, Collierville. So our number 3, number 4 teams face off in Germantown in a big matchup in 6A coming up this week. Collierville's first road test. Picked up a big win against Whitehaven. Germantown got a couple big wins on their belt already. They're ready for this challenge from the Dragons. Are the Dragons going to be able to respond on the road? We're going to see a shakeup at the top of our countdown next week for sure. Number 2, Briarcrest. They went over to Arkansas, picked up that big win. Now they got to come back and they got an old rival called MUS waiting for them. Can they get over the hump against the Owls? And at number 1, after a week off, they got to relax and enjoy the number 1 ranking, the Covington Chargers. Picked up a big win against Ripley, and now they go against the team in their division that everybody said could dethrone them, the Dyersburg Trojans. So we'll see a big shake-up next week. I can almost guarantee that in next week's ranking. And like I said, we appreciate the hard work of John. John for years has been one of those people devoted to high school sports, ever since he was a young man working with legendary coach Tommy Harrison and Tommy on the high school scoreboard show. Then he graduated to helping Mark Healy, who's a champion of high school sports in the area. What are the stats, information, John is on it. He corresponds with John Varlas, Jason Smith, Commercial Pill, no matter Millington Star, and he's a good friend to our paper and our production, but I also consider him just a good friend because he cares about the community and what's going on. So that's why we were glad to collaborate with him and do On the John this year. So make sure you support him because he's going to support your kids out there. And John will see you. You never know we're going to see John out there, so be on the outlook for him. But we'll see you next week for sure. Thanks.